I'm going to teach you how to be a serial killer and to leave almost no evidence, if any evidence can be used against you at all. You ready? Well, have a look at this first. My t-shirt. Ambient abuse is culpable homicide in plain view. Right? What is ambient abuse? Right? Well, I'll start with a serial killer. We'll just call her a letter of the alphabet, right? And basically she got on the internet and started communicating with me. I think she had a tag on her ankle, so she wasn't allowed out. And so I kept saying, why don't we meet up sometime? And she kept putting off. While she was doing so though, at dinner time, Erol, I'm going to say something shitty to you. Right? Every time it came to dinner time, I'm going to say something shitty to you. And so I would innocently try and correct her somehow, you know, and saying, why are you being like that? Or you're wrong in saying that, or whatever. And she would just keep it going. I need to be kicked through the face till I stop breathing. Right? She kept saying and doing, especially saying or typing or speaking, what she believed she deserved to be kicked through the face for, right? Think about that. And she did it every single time it was dinner time. What she didn't realise was, though, I was deliberately trying to lose weight as I'd got to 17.5 stone, and when I was saying goodbye to drinking every night, and then came back down. I thought, to start this comedy channel, which is a diary of my life in many ways, I thought, well, I'll get down to about 12 stone. And then I'll start doing these videos, which I did. However, I didn't realise every single time she went, I need to be kicked through my face, I need to be kicked through my face, I'm saying something or doing something I need to be kicked through my face for. Right? Whenever she went on like that, I didn't realise, alright, it's dinner time, and she wanted me to miss dinner, arguing with her somehow, or like suffering some emotionally. Oh, don't leave me, letter of the alphabet, don't leave me, something like that. And I didn't know. I just innocently, I didn't know she was talking shit. I didn't know she doesn't believe what she's saying. You know, I didn't know she was trying to hurt my feelings and to, wait for it, to starve me. Because if I missed dinner every fucking night because of her, then around about maybe 9-10 p.m. she would contact me to say, oh, have you eaten today, Erol? Eat today. You right? Fuck me. And so I didn't put two and two together in that regard. You know, I just thought she needed help. She sounded like she was fucked up like a motherfucker, but all the sob stories she'd told me, some of which she deserved to be fucked up. However, that aside, she told me she hated everybody, and including her father and so on. And so I didn't realise until I got to 12 stone, and she said to me, what weight are you today, Erol? And I innocently said, well, I've actually reached 12 stone now. And I thought she might, you know, be, oh, brilliant, well done, you've 17.5 to 12 stone. Instead, this is what she said. When are you going to fucking die? Right? So that was my first insight into being a serial killer remotely. You know, and basically since then I've been have had countless crimes committed against me by serial killers, all using that exact same secret weapon, ambient abuse. Right? It's culpable homicide in plain view, because that shout of shite can carry it out in plain view, you know, and leave no evidence, no weapons, no knives, no guns, no plots. However, they do leave a body of evidence. If you had a justice system that wasn't as corrupt and rotten to the core as every serial killer, then you could use that body of evidence against these sacks of shit, expose them, get them into an fMRI brain scan where you have glucose nanoparticles injected into the blood-brain barrier, and it shows up on the fMRI brain scan machine what parts of your brain are functioning. And it's no coincidence. The vast majority of people who are serial killers have virtually no prefrontal brain function in their mind. And so they don't really exist in reality. And to prove to themselves that they weren't wrong to go in that direction, to prove to themselves that you are what they are, is thick as shit. Then basically they spend their entire life pretending that they went in the right direction by only developing one brain cell. You couldn't make it up. Why do they do it? When someone acts out an act of evil, right? When they carry out an act of evil, right? If they don't feel remorse, if they're determined not to feel remorse about that, then what happens is they pretend that the person they've attacked is to blame somehow, right? So, in other words, if someone punches you in the face and you say, "You're a fucking piece of shit, you wee bastard," right? They'll try this shit on. "Oh, what kind of person calls someone a stupid bastard? You're a bad person. You are what I am. You are what I am." And that's the baby's formula, and they're stuck like that till the day they die. And even when they know that you know they're stuck as a monotard, a nanotard, a unitard, or a high-functioning retard, even when they find out that you know that they are, I repeat, a monotard, the garbage, give it 5 minutes and it'll test again. "Here's what I'd prefer reality to be. Babble, babble, fuckhole monkey cake." Right? Genuinely. They're that stupid. Give it 5 minutes and all they can do is repeat the exact same shit. It's the greatest punishment there is on earth that I can think of. To be arrested in your development from infancy onwards. You know, because you refuse to feel remorse, guilt, and to blame yourself for being the instigator, perpetuator, and very often you will continue, they will continue committing more crimes against those innocent people. But if they have any slight on their egomania, they are the lowest of the fucking low. Mega low maniacs. Or better still, mega low maniacs. The scum of the earth. So anyway, in a nutcake, I'll give you some examples of what's after this video. I'll put an example, a live example of ambient abuse taking place in broad daylight in plain view, with thousands upon thousands of people committing crimes against me for a family I exposed in Erol on being bullied, or better still, Erol on being bullied. Is that better? And so there's a shower of shite who've targeted me for 14 years. They asked me to join their cult. Initially the Freemasons, then if you don't follow that shit, then you have to become somehow sucked in to their cult another way. So you have to become a whore, or a fucking whore, right? Because to become a Freemason, you've got to sell your soul. Then you're at liberty to go and work and develop a business and not have it be foiled or dragged back by these sacks of shit, And if you do join that fraternity, then what happens is they all pretend to each other that they're very respectful, decent, caring people to each other, because they're fucking cowards. If they were to go on with these scumbags with them the way they've gone on with me for 14 fucking years, they would already be 6 feet under. And so anyway, like I say, so I was targeted 14 years ago. If you want to know all about it, watch Erol on being bullied. And before that, I tried to end things well with these sacks of shit. And Erol on being funny, right? I wanted to end it with these sacks of shit because I've tried to end it with these fucking low-life scumbags for fucking 14 bloody years. And if you watch Erol on being bullied, then you'll see, fuck me, without any exaggeration of any kind at all, they've committed 33,000 crimes against me. If you count every instance where these sacks of shit have had a whore to commit a crime against me, right? And there's a fucking massive network out there of scumbags who, maybe all of them worship an imaginary Satan and hate an imaginary good God that magically made them the way they chose to become themselves. And nonetheless, basically there are tens of thousands of scumbags who are wired into the bloody mobile phone, desperate for the work. And there are 6 million Freemasons desperate to give them the work. They're all fucking whores. Whores who are Freemasons and the occult shite they associate with, who are all into Satan or Lucifer, call the imaginary god whatever you want. That shit will use, as I said, tens of thousands of people who are primed and ready night and day to carry out a crime against you, right? And in plain view. And what they hope is they get the end result they're aiming for quickly so they don't reveal a body of evidence against themselves. However, the problem is the vast majority of people, even if you give them a gargantuan body of evidence, against the culprits, as Julian Assange did, people will sit in the living room eating crisps while he rots in jail. Year in, year out, year in, year out. It was what, 14 fucking years before he got let out or something like that? My chronology's not very good. The point is, he's finally been released, I'm guessing over a dozen years, for telling the fucking truth about the shitheads who are not only in power, the scum, that network of scum they suck into this vortex to titillate them, to give them something to titillate themselves with. In other words, turning them into serial killers. But you've been groomed to call soldiers good people. Soldiers, they're good serial killers, guilty of at least culpable homicide, manslaughter, call it what you will. The shite behind the scenes groom the worst of your fucking culture to essentially form an upside down pyramid, with what I call Pharaoh's fuck toys at the very bottom, who essentially are the direct descendants of the shitheads Moses rescued from Egypt. He made us a bit of a boo-boo in doing that, and as a result what did he do? He took Pharaoh's fuck toys and threw them off a cliff and said, your religion is a pile of piss. Literally, the religion they were following is called a piss. And so he battered fuck out of them, threw them off a cliff, made them drink some molten gold. He wasn't very good there, was he? And so as a result, before they could get back to Canaan and all the rest of it, they murdered him. And so people will say, well, he deserved it. However, he murdered, I believe, 2 Egyptian guards to get them free, and essentially thought he was trying to teach them morality, which is fucking beyond their comprehension, because, as I mentioned, if the front of your fucking brain doesn't work, you can't be trusted, right? If you have no right frontal lobe, you're morally insane, or a moral fucking imbecile. If the centre of your brain doesn't work, like that shower of fucking shit, then you've no conscience, right? Let alone a moral conscience, right? Like, you don't fucking have function here in a full duplex way, fully duplex, then you're incapable of compassion, empathy, you name it. But shite like that will pretend that they are good people, that they are compassionate, because they have token gestures. And if you look at the Freemasons, right, that shower of shit, basically they make donations every so often, and they appear in the newspaper, standing on a shovel next to a plaque and a tree they've given to somebody, and then they give a cheque with it. Here's a gigantic, enormous cheque, that they've stolen from people, because all Freemasons are thieving bastards. Wait for it. The higher up you go, as they would see it, when it's actually a race to the fucking bottom, the higher up in that cult, basically are, I repeat, not only thieving bastards or paedophiles, right? And what word always follows paedophile? Ring. Right? They're a fucking paedophile ring. As I mentioned, there's a massive network of these Lucifer worshipping fucking morons, right? Who are just wanting the money. They don't give a fuck. In the background, the family that I exposed in Erol being bullied spread slander about me. I've been told by people who know that it's all bullshit, and the ones who know that it's all bullshit have tried to convey, look, Erol, everything you're saying is fucking true. We've not fallen for their bullshit, but we're going to act out our crime anyway. Right? So basically, the crimes that have been committed against me range from hiring a whore to ask me to sell my soul. Right? hiring the exact same male whore to tell me to sell my soul a month later. And both times I said, "Get to folk, you don't cunt," which I covered in Erol on Being Bullied. And so, and you can get all the names from there if you're interested in prosecuting them. And if you are, then take them to court, say you were part of it in some way, and whatever money is extricated from that shit, you can have it. All I want is to give. And those sacks of shit have been holding me back from giving to the best of my ability on and off for 14 years, right? Not all the time, just as and when. And that share of shite, what they do is they go looking for people who they pretend are more arrogant than a mega low maniac who are the lowest of the fucking low, right? And so if you react to that shit, they sex themselves up, as I've said before in Erol on Being Bullied. And it's, oh, see now, oh, he deserves it, has it coming, brought it on himself and is asking for it. I'm a fucking moron, please. Right, so that's the shit who've been targeting me for 14 years. And what I've been doing is using them to expose neuroanatomy, psychology, or in their case, pathology. There's one fucking path they tear along the dotted line to get this suck of dopamine, which is all bullshit and shows they're magical thinkers. Because basically, when they carry out an act of evil, and they know they're carrying out an act of evil in plain view, and they believe therefore they are awake and you're asleep, when they're actually so far beneath you, so far beneath contempt, the garbage can't get it through a thick skull. You struggle to be able to magnify and amplify that low a form of fucking life. And so, but when that shite are in front of you and they say something like the letter of the alphabet screamed at me, you know, then to conclude, the garbage go, sometimes they hide it better than that, and they go, right, there's just a kind of snifter to the side. And the ones that I've seen, though, without any exaggeration of any kind, when they carry out an act of evil they need kicked through the face for by their own reasoning, then this is the reaction. Right? So picture the letter of the alphabet I've mentioned going, "I hope you die of cancer!" Right? That sums them up to a fucking T. You know, but that's what she also said to me. I told her there was a lump in my throat and she screamed, "I hope you die of cancer." She's a very nice woman. one of my favourite exes. Don't get me wrong, I have had some ex-girlfriends who were above standards that seem to be commonplace in this culture, where, you know, don't get me wrong, I repeat, I've dated lots and lots of women who visited me, and I tried to give my best to them, but just, you cannot live in a relationship if the person doesn't have a deep enough heart, you know, simple as that. And so I shouldn't have gone with the chicks that I've been with, you know. That aside, so basically, we go back to the point, to conclude. So they sent a whore into my life, which I've mentioned in Erol on Being Bullied, and she tried her best to cause me post-traumatic stress disorder, because, as I've mentioned, if you don't have a conscience, it's because you don't have a break, really, and they don't have a break from being evil. Behind it all, it's a deliberate choice. The point is, if you get angry, you should be able to morally reason with yourself due to your moral fibre, your conscience and your empathy. If you don't have any of that, then it's just, it comes out as rage and anger and detestment. You know, and that's the kind of shit I'm surrounded by, because they keep on fucking hiring thousands of fucking whores per month to target me, to commit crimes against me, especially ambient abuse. And across the board, they use a network run by paedophiles who vacuum in all the scum of the day as Satan worshippers, Lucifer worshippers, occultists, scumbags, who all believe they're on the winning team. I wouldn't trade places with any one of them for $1 trillion, signed by a fucking slew of solicitors in plain view in front of countless people, so they know it's definitely my £1 trillion. You know, I wouldn't trade places with them for one fucking second. Here's the thing. Recently, I sensed what evil is. I sensed evil. I've never sensed it before, never felt it before, never known really what the fuck I was talking about before, until about, say, a couple of months ago, and I sensed evil, and I realised once you become evil, you can never unbecome evil. So when, you know, Peter Sutcliffe is smashing a woman's skull in with a fucking hammer, with a hard-on and a glazed expression he can't get rid of, basically, he genuinely can never unbecome that, right? Yet to the day he died, basically until he passed away, I mean, to hell, where the motherfucker belongs, where he is, that sack of shit still got oxygen, sunlight when he went outside, you know? Love has to give to all of us, right? In order to get to the ones who deserve it. That includes, even when he was in his fucking cell, that sack of shit who gutted women and fucking smashed their skulls in. You name it. That sack of shit got oxygen. When he went out into the prison yard, he got sunlight. You know, the wind was, a gentle gust at times. You know, he received fucking fruit and food, you know, that grows out of wood and the ground. You know, why did that sack of shit get that? The answer is, in order for us to get it, he has to get it. You can't, like, I'll have a section of the world that doesn't have gravity, you know. You know, I could go on. Here we go. So there we are. Basically, 14 years ago, I was asked to join the Freemasons and I told them to get to fuck. So they then sent in a whore after the first two failures. They sent in a whore to try and cause me post-traumatic stress disorder. And as I've been describing, basically, you have to either let your anger out or keep it in, or just don't go there. You don't have to go there. You can train being non-reactionary. It takes that scumbag's power away. That fucking filth, right? So, that fucking low-life scum. What the fuck? The point is, though, male or female, from 19 to 99 years of age, you can make them impotent, disempower them, by having no reaction to that shit whatsoever at all. And so, I had no reaction when they sent in a female whore after the male whore, and the female whore obsessively shouted at me, just like the letter of the alphabet had done a couple of months before her. And I still hadn't finished studying her, you know. And then along came a creature I call Mayhem, right? And her job was to be a whore on behalf of these fucking Freemasonic whores and occultist scumbags, a whole family of inbred shit, who are the scum of the fucking earth, right? Who've got $1 billion in the bank, and a network run by paedophiles where they can get any number of whores to target me to commit any type of crime you can think of, from false imprisonment, false sectioning in lunatic asylums, robbery, you name it, false arrests, you name it, arresting you for typing the truth on the internet. You couldn't make it up. So anyway, because I've got a prefrontal cortex that functions, when that whore was going, basically, and I kind of put up with that, thinking, fuck, maybe if I endure this, she'll get better, and then we can crack on. You know, because I'd taken a shine to her, you know, years and years earlier, and I hadn't seen her for years and years until they worked their evil on her, sent her into my life, and her job was to cause me PTSD, and that's how she did it. Just whenever I would say something, if she could bombastically dramatise that as being some wrongdoing on my part, I'd somehow done something wrong, I'd said something wrong, she would go, right? Right? And I put up with that on and off for about 3 weeks or something like that, because I genuinely fell for what sociopaths are obsessed with, pity play. Now, they are to be pitied. Don't feel anything about that though. Anything that can be manipulated by that scum. Because they are pitiful, they are pathetic. However, do not feel anything they can exploit. Because if you do, they'll take advantage. Take advantage. Take advantage. Right? They're not human. By any stretch of the imagination, they are not fucking human. By their own admission to me. They don't even see themselves as being human. They are creatures. They are in human form. However, their sadistic addiction to sucking dopamine from an internal white dummy teat they developed at the front of their brain instead of grey matter. Instead of grey matter that gives you a moral compass, a conscience, empathy, full duplex, empathy, feelings in your body, compassion for other people, love, selflessness, veracity, you name it. So anyway, I go back to the point. This mentally, prefrontally vapid whore, working for those matching whores, came into my life and screamed and screamed and screamed. And I just thought, eventually this must end. You know, she either fucks off and leaves me alone, or she stays where she is and gets better. I didn't know that just like the letter of the alphabet, she was going to go on until I either had a heart attack or committed suicide or was left suffering from PTSD. How? Because if somebody provokes you, right, and say for example you want them to be in your life, or you're scared of telling them the truth, whatever it might be, you use the nerves in your prefrontal cortex to suppress that, stop it from getting out, right? And if you keep on fucking doing that, some asshole keeps on abusing you. You know, you get the idea. Then if you suppress your right to not fuck out of them verbally, if you reserve the right to let them have it verbally, online, in person, by snail mail, whatever, then you're stressing, you're putting a strain on the nerves in your prefrontal cortex, and if you do that consistently, serial killers know you'll end up suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and be highly likely to commit suicide. Right? And there's no evidence. How is that? How can you leave that sort of an evidence to prove they're a serial killer that killed you? You know, if you've not left anybody around when you've recorded like what's happened 24/7 on a video camera, you know, which I can do. And after this video, you will see ambient abuse live outside my window being perpetrated by a couple of billionaires, and a family of billionaires rather. And so you'll see how they try to hide it in plain view. Remember this though, there's been 33,000 examples of these sacks of shit hiring whores to commit crimes for them. I want fuck all to do with them. And their crimes range from ambient abuse to false imprisonment, false sectioning, daylight robbery, interfering with my life, not minding their own fucking business, and babbling constant shite, committing crime after crime after crime, and online hate crime after hate crime after hate crime. And all I've ever done is swing back, right? And this is how they slander me to people who say, Erol said that we are spastics. And I'll tell you what that means. Basically, when I was 9 years old, I met a mental quadriplegic. I didn't know he was a mental quadriplegic though. And then he saw a person in a wheelchair who was a quadriplegic. And he came into the bathroom where I was, a communal bathroom, and he said, "She's a fucking spastic." Right? And I was quite appalled at him. I said, "No, you're the fucking spastic." Right? And he went, and stayed like that for quite some time, only he seemed to recess to the back of his brain. And so I thought from that day, I'm claiming back that term and only using it to describe sociopaths who self-spasticate because they fail to develop the front of their brain and instead they suck on an internal white dummy teat. I repeat, it's all bullshit because the number of times, 33,000, they've contacted me via whores to commit crimes against me on their behalf, they go when it's happening, right? They suck as they witness it happen. And but when I have no reaction, or no reaction like they want me to, they've still sucked the white dummy tape, believing, wait for it, that magically, these magical thinking morons who don't develop beyond 3 to 5 years of age, they magically think that transference is taking place. They're magically taking their guilt and sins, if they feel anything, and transferring it into you, and then they walk away. Well, they waddle off, going, winning! So, in a nutcake, so that shit has been committing 33,000 crimes against me, and it proves they're magical thinking morons. When the vast majority of the time, I didn't even know it was them. I didn't. I just thought it was just normal hatred that you get in Scotland when you're good looking. So, like I say, if you suppress your right to anger with the nerves and your post-traumatic stress disorder, say because you don't want to lose this person from your life, or you don't yet understand them, or you don't want to trigger them into thinking that you're scary so they punch fuck at you, or whatever it might be. If you are triggered and you suppress that trigger, I repeat, you end up fucking exhausted. And that's what that share of fucking shit down there, that's that share of fucking shit want to happen, right? And when it does, and they reach that stage where they've committed so many fucking crimes against you with tens of thousands of fucking whores, right? They'll throw down a pillow and give you a DVD with mindfulness technique on it. And say, see you in about 3 months. And that shite pretend that they run Scotland, They are, the family I exposed in Erol being bullied, they do have £1 billion in the bank between them. And they are easily, they can tap into a network run by paedophiles called Freemasons predominantly, and they have, I repeat, tens of thousands of evil whores sitting next to their mobile phone waiting for their instructions, And there's a wee booklet on me where the garbage teach their whores, look, learn from this wee booklet and then say this phrase, say that phrase, say this phrase, because why? You'll have a negative emotional reaction, validating egomaniacs shite. Right? And when it doesn't work, I repeat, they still go, which shows they're magical thinkers who don't exist in reality. Wait for it. When they realise they've ejaculated, they've got off on evil, and oh fuck, it turns out you didn't have the negative emotional reaction validating egomaniac shite that they'd hoped for, the garbage will just commit another crime against you, then sit back and go, and you still don't have the negative emotional reaction validating egomaniac shite, which I changed for convenience, negaboo, biogaboo, riagu. I came up with that fucking 8 years ago when I did a video called Erol on unitards. You can go and watch it. It's about that family of shit, who've been contacting me, committing crimes against me for 13 and a half fucking years. And that scum have often said to me, Erol, stop punching down, whilst they're punching up. You couldn't make up how fucking corrupt they are, how stupid, unself-aware, evil a shower of criminals. So anyway, like I say, cut to the point, basically, if you do suppress your right to let these sacks of shit have it, or at least somehow launch them at your life, they will still come back. They're seasonal vegetables. According to themselves, they sometimes refer to themselves disparagingly to try and maybe put you off the scent, at least for a while. And so they've told me for several years, I'm guesstimating about 13 and a half years, on and off, that they would section me or imprison me if I ever came back to Scotland, because I left Scotland to get away from shit like that and to get into farming, which I want to get into again up north. However, the difficulty is there's a family who are evil, criminal, insane vermin, which is vice backwards, who are intent on committing crimes against me every fucking day. They've got £1 billion and a paedophile run network of occult scumbags with tens of thousands of fucking whores who'll carry out their dirty work for them. I've got about 2 pence to my name and all I want to do, I repeat, is to give. All I want is to give. I just want to work as a farmer again, up north this time instead of in Porcupants, as I used to. And basically, you know, just give everything I've got for whatever I can get for it. And then, unsurprisingly, any profit, give it to the poor, you know. And any leftover, of course, give it to food banks and help the poorest people get the purest food. And so, that aside, so when they sent Mayhem in, and she kept going, right, I didn't have a trigger. I'd been working on being non-reactionary for just over 14 years by that juncture, and so I had no reaction. And so eventually she said she felt lost. When she felt lost, the game was a bogey, because the game can't continue if you know, can't realise how low a form of life they are, don't have a reaction to that evil shit, don't want to punch fuck at them, you know, whatever it is, or don't want to kick them up the arse, launch out the front door, you know, or phone the police farce on them. Whatever you do, don't fucking phone the police farce. They'll just arrest you, right? They're the scum of the fucking earth, which you'll see in Erol on Prison, which is a video I should have out in the next few days after this, and after this video immediately you'll see Ambient abuse live taking place outside my window. So, like I say, so I didn't have the negative emotional reaction validating evil being that shit. I didn't cause myself post-traumatic stress disorder because I had fuck all to suppress. You know, I'd fuck all to rein in. It never happened in the first place. And so eventually that shower of shite revealed themselves to me slowly but surely over years and years and years and years. And to conclude, one of them told me that her and her children especially were not human, and a leopard can't change its spots. So you have to feel sympathy for them, compassion for them, empathy for them, whilst they carry out evil crimes against innocent people. So they originally said to me that they're fun-loving criminals, and I want fuck all to do with them. Fuck all. I just want them to leave me alone so I can just crack on, go up north, farm indoors and outdoors, profit from that, give the profit to the poor, as I've said, and that's it. I don't want anything to do with these sacks of shit. Yet every single fucking day without exception, they commit a fucking crime against me. They are evil, incontinent arseholes. So anyway, so like I say, so Mayhem died on her arse, right? And then I tried to morally reform her from a safe distance. And in order to do so, I had to then go into the system. And the system is run by that shower of fucking shite down there, Freemasons. So your police force is run by Freemasons. I repeat, the vast majority of whom are paedophiles. Who are the scum of the fucking earth, and they pretend to be a brotherhood, but behind each other's backs they slag fuck out of each other, you know. And however, there's a technology where they can spy on you, right? And when they're spying on you, they can become the thought police, right? And however, I don't give a fuck about them, and so I have no interest in making sure that every thought I think about anyone isn't true. You know, I must never tell the truth about evil people. And that shower of shite, as I've said, you know, they want you to lay in silence with their cushion on the ashes of the house they've burned down that you used to own, and just after which you're thrown into prison for arson you didn't commit. And when you get out, you're thrown back into prison again because some girl you dated 6 years ago, they've paid her £40,000 to go to court and say, "He raped me!" Right? So that shit is behind all that, basically. And so they've targeted me and imprisoned me. Admittedly, all of these choices, or the vast majority of them, have been my decisions based on morality, compassion, selflessness and veracity, integrity, a good one. And yet that garbage have taken advantage, right? And it's just one totem pole of monotards, nanotards, unitards and high functioning retards, and they're all impaled on it, you know, ass to mouth, ass to mouth, ass to mouth, to get to the very top. And so, like I say, I want fuck all to do with that garbage, but they won't stop committing crimes against me. And as I've said, if you want to kill someone the way they kill people, just keep sending in people into their life to try and provoke them. And if you then are triggered, it's slightly exhausting to be angry. However, it's far worse for you to get angry and suppress it. And ideally they want to lumber you with that. I repeat, that it's magically traded places. Transference is magically taking place, even when it hasn't, and lays them bare as a monotard that's not developed beyond 3 to 5 years of age, because when it hasn't happened outside their numbskull, they still go. They're monotards, right? And like I said, so very soon, before I end this video, you'll see countless examples of that shit, hiring what they called originally demon drivers, right? Demon drivers. They told me 14 years ago they were going to use demon drivers until they got, you know, whatever they wanted, which was either for me to sell my soul and join the Freemasons, or sell my soul and join their cult, these evil sadistic scumbags, or sell my soul and essentially debase myself somehow for these sacks of shit, or sell my soul after that and become a recruiter who recruits whores for them from innocent people they suck down into that vortex. And they've got tens of thousands of whores in a network with police, psychiatrists, doctors, judges, lawyers, otherwise known as liars, and you name it. Estate agents, just this network where they can try and surround you with exclusively that network and make you think that everyone's evil and insane. Well, no, just tens of thousands of that shit. They can form a posse around you and just keep on committing crimes against you on a daily basis. Only 2 out of every 3 people are evil. And once you become evil, you can never unbecome evil, ever. So why change, you know? And I chose to go to heaven when I was in childhood. I chose to go to heaven. I didn't realise I was choosing to go to heaven. I just love veracity, you know, and the truth will set you free. Whereas with them, hell awaits that garbage. That's where all bullshit ends. And give it 5 minutes, and these arseholes will contact me and say, Erol, you're getting us mixed up. I'm the good, evil one who communicates cryptically through evil whores who commit crimes for me. I'm a fucking spastic, please. Right? And he's meant to be the most intelligent of them. So, and you're meant to think, oh, Erol said the word spastic. Oh, right. At some juncture, after they committed hundreds of crimes against me and thousands of hate crimes against me, I swung back, right, and hurt them, right, by telling them the awful truth fearlessly. I love the fucking truth, you know, and I don't give a fuck about them. You know, I tried to end things compassionately with that shout of shit. As you know, an Erol on being funny, which then I had to bring out Erol on being bullied, and they just won't stop. Wait for it. They believe they can hire enough people to fool you, right, into thinking that all these people are innocent professionals who are respectable people. They couldn't possibly be a fucking whore who worships Satan and commit any crime for pseudo authorities, night or day. Yeah, it couldn't possibly be the case. And so, as the case though, right, I've met countless scumbags who work in the NHS, countless scumbags who call themselves lawyers in Scotland, countless scumbags who call themselves judges in Scotland who are predominantly paedophile Freemasons, and met countless policemen who are walking shite, as you'll see in Erol on prison not long after this. And I repeat, all I want is to give, right? I want fuck all to do with that garbage. I don't want to expose them anymore. In videos I've done on and off, wittingly and unwittingly, for 14 years. So I just wanted to try and help people when studying that low form of shit on a daily basis, because they would send me hate mail every fucking day. Invariably, what were they saying? You are what I am. You are what I am. That's the baby's formula. No matter what the fuck it says, it's always saying, you are what I am. You couldn't make it up. And so, Eventually these arseholes who had been targeting me at that juncture for the better part of 4.5 years, they told me that one of their own had this problem. For example, one of them's got lung cancer, one of them's missing his legs from the knees down, one of them's in a wheelchair a lot of the time, another one has Down syndrome, another one has suffered severe blows to the fucking head, and there's some wee piece of shit at the very top of that pyramid scheme, of that totem pole, who they say is evil incarnate. And also the guy with no legs from the knees down, he's almost as bad as them, you know. And like I say, you have to think to yourself, when these sacks of shit contact you to say,
Erol, you don't understand. I'm the good evil bastard. See, it's the other ones who are more evil than me. You're getting me mixed up with them. I'm actually the good evil bastard that communicates evil through hers cryptically, proving I'm having the exact same thought.
and what is that exact same thought? A negative emotional reaction validating egomaniacs shite. What's he trying to do? Provoke you. You know, and to understandably wanting to kick fuck out of him. And then you don't know where he lives. How can you go to and visit someone who needs a good kicking if you don't even know where they live? You know, however, I don't give a fuck about them. And I know the moral law of divinity punishes fuck out of them. One of them's got a gigantic problem here, other one's got a gigantic problem there, ranging from every type of condition that's horrendous to have across the board in the vast majority of the cases. You know, they are infinitely unenviable. I repeat, I wouldn't trade places with them for 1 nanosecond for £1 trillion, as to be them, to have become what they've become. For even 1 nanosecond I would fucking kill myself. I couldn't fucking live with myself and be guilty of one of the damnation crimes those fucking low-life bastards are guilty of. Right? But why change? Since they know they're going to hell in a handbasket, right? Why change? Why not just try and take as many people with you as you possibly can? Wait for it. That's what they told me, right? So these arseholes, all these whores in the tens of thousands, I'll do it for the money. I don't give a fuck if it's a crime. They're authorities, so above authorities, so you can hide and play view. I'm getting the monies, and right. So that shite behind their back, the ones in charge have come to me and said, look, these assholes sold their soul for us for pennies. Yeah, think about this: the most priceless gift you can get comes after the greatest gift you can get. The greatest gift you can get is life. The most priceless gift you can get comes with it, and it's called your soul. And if you sell your fucking soul for that mess of pottage, you have hell to pay. Does that sound like a good deal? Can you do the basic arithmetic there? You sell your soul and then have to pay hell, pay in hell, right? And you can't take that money with you, you can't take any material goods with you, and you'll be spending a long time in hell. Put it all together. And so anyway, so I've no more to say, keeping it brief, and what I'll do is I'll stick on the ambient abuse example as just one of 33,000 crimes, 33,000 whores. Admittedly, just a couple of months ago it was probably only about 12,000. And for the last couple of months they've had about 20,000 fucking whores to drive past my house, tooting their horn, blah blah blah, breaking the speed limit from about 11 AM to about 11 PM for some reason, every single fucking day. And also they've hired corrupt members of the NHS. The NHS stands for the nation's home of serial killers. Right? And trust me, believe me, I've lost count of how many corrupt whores have actually even admitted to me that they work for the NHS. One of them, a senior nurse, said to me recently, the reason you're sectioned, Erol, the reason you were sectioned is because the quack got £90,000 and just wrote down what the criminals told him to, and then he signed his name after it, and that's how you get sectioned. Sometimes they tell the truth, you know. Very often when they think there can be no consequence for their actions, of course there is. Of course there's consequence for every fucking action, you know. If you, whatever your intention, it will be returned. Slowly or quickly. The better you are as a person, the more quickly it's returned. The more evil you are, the more slowly it's returned on this planet. Until they fucking plummet and spend eternity in hell. Spend eternity in hell without one penny to their fucking name. Yeah? Beyond the point where love can love them no more. So that share of shite though, when they do suffer something, these incontinent arseholes, I repeat, want transference to magically take place. So think about that. Somebody with £1 billion in the bank and a paedophile ring network with an occult shower of tens of thousands of fucking whores, if they get butthurt about something, well, they go and target people and see if that transference can magically take place, so they can feel at least they're not that person who they've just committed a crime against. At least they're not that person. That's the way these arseholes think. So like I say, I'll give you one really good evidence to highlight these shower of shit for committing 20,000 crimes in the last couple of months, including NHS staff who took tens of thousands of pounds to section me in a completely fake, ratified scene that I went through, because I was absolutely fucking determined to get rid of these sacks of shit. Whatever I had to fucking do, whatever I have to do to get rid of these sacks of shit, I was prepared to do. So I allowed myself to be sectioned twice to get rid of these sacks of fucking garbage. I want fuck all to do with them. Do I take the pittance I've got, go up north, I repeat, and donate it through farming to the poorest, the purest. Picture that animate shite hiring whores from every strata of your culture, whether it be, I repeat, like a judge, a policeman, a doctor, psychiatrist, quacks, right across the board, social workers, you name it, mental health officers, whatever they want to call themselves. Think about that fucking shit, babbling whatever, a criminal family of scumbags affiliated with a global network of paedophiles. Think about countless thousands of that animate shite are in your country, and all of them can be got rid of with an fMRI brain scan. You've got a passport, can't go on a plane without one unless you're an illegal immigrant, and then basically you shouldn't be able to get a job in authority without a brain pass. Yeah. So to conclude, because that separates adult moral human beings from animate shite, right, who hide in plain view because you automatically think highly of someone who seems to be in authority, when the vast majority of people who are in seats of authority are walking shit, right? In fact, repeat, think about how many times I've heard, hundreds upon hundreds of times, all in the region of about 12,000 whores have said what they've been told to say by that criminal family of animate shite, because they're hoping I have a negaboo, biogaboo, ragu. Right? Think about someone contacting you every single day for 13 and a half years, guessing, Abrumdegabriago, Abrumdegabriago, Abrumdegabriago. I'm doing not bad, despite that. Now, 33,000 crimes in a row. Just think, though, of all those greedy, stupid bastards who are on their way to hell in a handbasket with those sacks of fucking shit. And they sold their soul. I repeat, if you sell your soul, you've got hell to pay, and you'll be spending a long time there, called eternity. So, I could cover how many crimes they commit which can be construed as being ambient abuse, ranging from a noise, a hopefully hurtful phrase, or where they blow up your late grandmother's tower block and hope if they hire a whore to take you there a day after it's flattened, that'll hurt you. That's what these sacks of shit are obsessed with doing, trying to hurt you, right? And they've admitted that I've been hurting them for 13 and a half years for simply telling the fucking truth and telling them to get to fuck. I repeat, whether it's somebody screaming in your face, that's ambient abuse. Or it could be somebody honking their horn outside your house, or driving past it non-stop, as you'll just see in a moment. And like I say, other types of ambient abuse are, they have a list, and they'll guess and guess and guess and guess, and hope that you magically forget, whilst living in a continuum, that they're pathological liars, right? Pathologically lying imbeciles. And like I say, so they'll just guess, get a whore to guess that if they mention your mother's name after she's passed away, Abram Digger Biago, Negabu Biogabu Riagu, they have one brain cell between them. Like I said, I give countless examples of the crimes ranging from petty to heinous these sacks of shit have committed against me. Suffice to say, I had to leave the country to get away from them. Then I had to leave another country to get away from them. Then I had to leave a fucking continent to get away from them. Then I had to leave every single part of this fucking nation to get away from them. And to this fucking day, they commit crimes against me, because I won't sell my fucking soul to those arseholes, to involve myself in any of their criminal stupidity, whether it be as a victim or a perpetrator, or in collusion with that fucking scum. Yeah, Freemasons are the scum of the earth. Occult followers of Satan and Lucifer are fucking scum of the earth. Don't get me wrong, there's so many religions out there that also have scum. I'm just saying though, these are the ones who are in fucking charge. And I want fuck all to do with them. So they've committed 13 and a half years of crimes against me. Just watch Erol on Bullying. Yeah. And just see how kindly I wanted to end things, and Erol on being funny, and they still committed countless crimes against me, I repeat, which they hope they can hide in plain view. Hide in plain view. I repeat, ambient abuse is culpable homicide, hiding in plain view. Yeah. So like I say, I could give you countless examples. I'll just give you one, that you can actually see evidentially. Here's the evidence. Welcome to the Spastic Society. Basically, as a targeted individual, this is what the Spastics are doing today. I've upset some Spastic, and it wasn't my intention. So the Spastics have been hiring cars to drive past my window constantly all fucking day. And I let it happen. So here's another car. So there's a spastic hired by a spastic. There's another spastic and there's another spastic in a street that normally has like one car every like 10-15 minutes. There's 5 cars in 5 seconds, right? So that's what happens to targeted individuals when they upset spastics who are trying to upset you. If you say anything about it, you even drop a feather, the spastics will go on all fucking day hiring more spastics to try and do the exact same shit, even if it doesn't work. Even if you tell them it doesn't work, you're a spastic. Driving cars along a road's not going to have an adverse emotional effect on me. However, so they sent whores to the house to tell me to stop talking to vegetables. And I told them, I've been told by one of them to actually film it. So there you go. So there's more spastics paid by spastics to prove they're spastics. And so, I repeat, a car maybe once every 10 minutes. How many cars have you seen in the last few seconds? And here's another car, look. Another spastic hired by a spastic to prove they're a spastic. And so, I'm supposed to have a negabu yoga buriago, which means a negative emotional reaction validating egomaniac shite. And so, basically, I've upset them somehow. But their intention was to upset me. So there's another spastic hired by a spastic. And so we'll just keep filming it until the battery runs out, right? And so what it means is basically they're sadistic sex offenders who have £1 billion each, and what they do is hire spastics to try and torment people, try and torture people, and you've not to say boo about it, you've not to say one fucking word, not one word, or they have you imprisoned or sectioned or killed. There's another spastic hired by spastic. There's another spastic hired by spastic. Now, obviously this is happening in front of your eyes. There's another spastic in a street that's actually documented evidentially as being a very, very quiet street, right? A car once every 10 minutes. How many cars have you counted, right? And you've meant to think, oh, that's just a fucking road. I've lived here for over 5 years. Look at the amount of cars passing by my window. They let off fireworks earlier on today to let me know which one of them it is, or to celebrate that it's them, I don't care. The thing is, I had the windows open so I could listen to make absolutely sure this is a thought. This is a thought they've been having all day.
Look, another spastic, hired by spastic, there's another spastic, another spastic, another spastic. It's the spastic society in charge of a dying culture. The pus, there's another spastic, hired by the same spastics, drive past that specific window because they're hoping I have a a negative emotional reaction, validating egomaniac shite. And there's loads of them. So this guy's probably been paid as well. And you think, oh, it's just a guy walking up the street. We'll see. Could just be a guy, or it could just be another person hired by the Spastic Society. And so, I repeat, this is a very, very quiet street. It's documented as being a quiet street. How many cars you've counted? There's a van. How many vehicles have you counted? There's another one. It's a quiet back street, and it's got a dead end in the bottom, you know. And so there you are. There's more cars, more cars. They're as thick as shite. They're so stupid it's almost unfucking believable. It took me all day to work out that actually was supposed to mean something. I actually left my windows open so I could actually hear it and work out, and they were trying to set off other noises. The spastics are obsessed with seeing if they can cause you to cause yourself unwittingly post-traumatic stress disorder. So what they do is they hire spastics, and more spastics to do, they'll do anything for money. People are so greedy these days. If you say to them, jump, they'll say how high, if you give them enough money. And so, I thought it might be just the same cars, but obviously it's not the same cars. They're actually hiring all these different spastics, you know. And so here's more spastics, you know. And so, more spastics. Desperate for the money, because these are billionaires. They get money coming out of their fucking arseholes, you know. And I've been told today to not speak about them, not to think about them or whatever. I just had to be absolutely sure if this actually exists, if this is actually meant to be something. In Spastic Land, this is meant to actually be something. In Spazzy Land, I'm meant to go, here, stop this, stop driving up and down the road, you know. And I was told today I'm not allowed to film them. You couldn't make that up. They actually hire the police farce, they hire the corrupt courts, they hire people who pretend to be in the psychiatric care profession, who are just prostitutes, really. And so these pieces of dirt basically have been hiring scum all fucking day for buttons, really, to drive up and down the road. And so what I decided to do was leave the windows open to make absolutely certain it was supposed to be something. And then what I decided to do was tell them, hire somebody else to prove you're a spastic. Hire somebody else to prove you're a spastic. Hire somebody else to prove you, and all fucking day, proving the spastics. Greedy scumbags being hired by spastics to drive past this window all fucking day. And basically, if I say anything about it, they get angry. They get upset, I think, you know, and then they set off fireworks in the street and run away, which I actually found that quite funny. I was more interested in the bin lorry that was here earlier on today. And so there's another spastic. Look, weaving in as close as he can for no reason at all to the curb. You saw it live, yeah? So they're as thick as shite. If you give this cunt money, that spastic fucking money, these dirtbags, these diseased sex offenders who are rabid inbred scum, right? Who are the lowest form of shite ever crapped into creation, will pretend. They tell everybody, see that Erol? Erol's a bad person because he abuses vegetables, right? Because their family, quite a lot of them are inbred, and they actually call their own families vegetables. And here's the thing though, they're liars though. They go about saying that I'm a bad person abusing vegetables when I don't even have a fucking clue what they're talking about. I don't even know what they're on about. It's because their family contact me, the entire family, the entire fucking paedophile ring, from top to bottom, they're all in it. And they pretend to be the good cop, the bad cop, fucking blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. So here's an ambulance. You couldn't make it up, you know. And so basically, every cunt who'll take money to be a greedy scumbag is getting paid today to drive past this window. You can see it live. You've never seen endless before in your fucking life. Look at this piece of shit driving as close as he can to the curb, weaving away again. Look, you're seeing it live. Ben said that this is my basil plants that I'm growing. I grew them about 9 foot tall. Wasn't to actually stop from seeing anything, but I should have done. It's my 16th sense said to grow them 9 foot high. And so basically, even when I had the curtains drawn, they still continued to pay these stupid fucks to drive past. And so here we are, look, desperate to get paid. Desperate. This is the quietest street. I mean, I've lived here for, as I say, for over half a decade. One car every 10 minutes. How many cars have you counted? here we go again. Look, desperate for their money, greedy scumbags. I actually thanked them earlier on today for letting me know how greedy people are. Greedy people will do absolutely anything for money, and they will lose their soul as a consequence of that. You know, they might as well peel themselves alive in front of me. They might as well hire somebody to take a fruit knife and just peel their face off right there. There's no difference, really. If you're greedy and you'll do anything for money and be hopefully sadistic, that's what they hope. They're all sadistic sex offenders. And I repeat, the ones at the very top are lying bastards. They go to people and say, oh, Erol's a bad person. He abused the vegetables in our family who are in wheelchairs and who are in all sorts of bad ways. And that Erol knows that. And Erol's a bad person, right? They're all in it. So they go about saying I'm a bad person. And then basically, as soon as they get home, they start fucking masturbating, you know? They start masturbating. And obviously, did you see that? The police farce went by. They're in control of the police farce. And I think they were looking up at the window, my say it's not very good. And so, to cut a long story short, you've seen live proof of being a targeted individual. There's no better proof you've ever seen in your fucking life. Look at that scumbag weaving in for no reason at all. I don't care, I'm just saying. So, to cut a long story short, in Spazialand, I mean, how many cars have you counted? I repeat, there's one car every 10 minutes, and I've lived here for half a decade. How many cars have you counted? Right? They're as thick as shite. I'll go back to the point though. So the beasts in charge lie to everybody, lie to every person they can that I'm a bad person, that knows that if I say anything, I'm abusing the younger members of their family who are all beasts, right? And so therefore, if I say anything, I have to know that some of them are in a wheelchair. I have to know that some of them have got bits of their brain missing. I have to know that some of them are autistic. I meant to know that some have got borderline personality disorder. I meant to know some have been in motorbike accidents. I meant to know some have got a clubbed foot. I meant to know some have got a fucking gammy leg. You know, I've meant to do all these things. But the thing is though, they try and make out, the lying bastards, that I'm abusing the younger members of their family. And they tell all these scumbags, Erol's a bad bastard, and I'll give you some money if you abuse him, right? And so they've paid my entire so-called family to lie pathologically to me and be evil bastards towards me. Greedy scum. Who cares? The point is, though, when the ones saying Erol's a bad person get home, they pull their trousers down and start masturbating with their family. They're all in it. The Erol's a bad person. He's abusing the younger members of our family. Then they all sit in the house and masturbate over what they're doing, from top to bottom. Good cop, bad cop, white hat, the one that throws down a cushion after they burn your house down. They're all the exact same, just walking shite, you know. And I've tried to be compassionate towards them, try to be understanding. They just take advantage. And as you've seen, look, desperate, greedy, stupid, fucking inbred bastards who, if you give them enough money, they'll do anything you ask. Now, how many cars have you counted in a street that normally, in half a decade, has one car every 10 minutes, all driving past my window? Why? Because I'm supposed to have a negative emotional reaction, validating egomaniac shite. And I was told today that I would be sectioned if I filmed them. I decided to film them anyway. And I'll upload this. And so, basically, you can see again, look, weaving in slightly needlessly, you know. It doesn't matter a fuck, you know. They're just fucking retards, you know. Well, I've been told they're vegetables, really. However, I was only told that today. I was told it previously and it didn't really totally register, you know. Their higher-ups call the younger ones vegetables. I repeat though, their higher-ups masturbate with them. Imagine sitting with your whole family, masturbating, watching this remotely. Look at that. Yeah. Walking shite. And I only just discovered really what greed means. You know, all these scumbags who are driving past are greedy, stupid bastards, you know. Give them enough money, they'll do anything you ask. If these billionaires say jump, they'll strip their clothes off and scream how high and throw their soul away, you know. They're dragging them all to hell with them, you know. So I don't really care. I'm just documenting it because they're so stupid they can't grasp even the most basic of concepts. They can hire 50 million cars today. I'm not going to have a negative emotional reaction validating egomaniac shite, you know. They're just spastics, you know. And this is what spastics do. If you give spastics enough money, this is what they do with their money. They target people that they hope will not say a word and just, you know, maybe laugh it off and plead with them. You know. You know, I mean, I've not seen that car before. I mean, it's different cars, you know, all day. You know, they're fucking retards. You know, I think I made them angry today. I didn't mean to. I just had to be absolutely sure. Is this anything? Is this anything? You know, is this anything? Well, I think in spastic land, it means something. You know, I think if they send enough cars past your window, I think they tell them to try and make their cars louder than they normally would. I'm guessing. I don't really hear cars really, because it's a quiet street. But as you can see, they're breaking the speed limit. I think it's meant to be 20 mile an hour, and so I don't think she's in it. She might be. Let's see if she throws her foot in there. She's having a good laugh. Did you see that? I should have filmed that. You know, she's away. She seemed to be having a laugh. I don't know whether that means that she's one of them and she's happy, or she's happy with what I'm saying. You know, it could mean anything. Who cares? So anyway, if you don't know anything about it, look up remote neural monitoring. Basically, I'm meant to believe I've got a microchip in my head, and they tell all these fucking lies, right? It's remote neural monitoring. It can happen to anybody at any time, right? I don't have any special equipment in my fucking brain. The lying cunts tell me, see, if I want this to stop, I've got to have an operation to have a chip pulled out my fucking head. You couldn't make it up. I'll say that again. They are so stupid, they genuinely believe, I'll believe, if I want this to stop, when I don't give a fuck about it, that I must have an operation to have a microchip pulled out of my fucking head, when they can do this to anybody. For some reason they've fixated on me because I'm quite a good looking guy when I'm shaving and I've had a shower, and I've been doing comedy for years, and for some reason they targeted me 13 years ago. I think their initial ambition was to kill me, and for some reason they couldn't manage it, you know. And so after 13 years, these serial killers, these disgusting, diseased, sadistic sex offenders, still haven't managed to kill me. And because of how Christ-like I am, I ended up having myself imprisoned to try and make it all go away for a particular person who they sent into my life. And it's actually on court record, that fact, in Glasgow Sheriff Court. I then had myself sectioned so that the female in question who they put into my life, I wouldn't have to press charges against her, because I tried to morally reform her from a safe distance when I lived in a different country. And then it turns out all this walking dirt had put her in my life in the first place, and they were controlling her. They were controlling her to try and get her to drag me into their game. The game's called Culpable Homicide. And I'm filming Culpable Homicide. And you might think to yourself, well, how's people driving past your window culpable homicide? Picture 13 years of this shite. Right? Sending people to hammer your fucking door, kick your door, smash your windows, smash the windows right next to your house, knock the doors off the fucking hinges, hammer your door between 10 PM and 4 AM in the morning for fucking years, do everything they possibly can against you for fucking donkey's years, follow you all over the world. They followed me to Ethiopia. And basically did everything they could against me, arrested my bank so I couldn't take my money with me. I took 7,000, I left 20,000 in Portugal. They basically did their level best to commit every crime you could possibly think of against me for 13 years. These dirtbags have been committing crimes against me for 13 fucking years. They are pieces of shite. And these dirty little fuckholes go about saying, I'm the good guy and Erol's a bad guy. He doesn't know that basically he's abusing people who are vegetables. We have young members of our family who are good, really good people, and Erol knows that they're handicapped, and he's been abusing them for years. I haven't a clue what they're fucking talking about. They've been contacting me for years, and they targeted me when I lived in Scotland first. They sent a prostitute into my life and told me my entire life story. Because they can actually genuinely plumb your memory banks, find out exactly what your memory's all about, and let you know what your memories are. And they knew I'm a really, really good man, and I suppose they think I'm probably quite sensitive, and they thought, well, he'll be a really good one to target till he commits suicide. Now, it's on Sheriff Court record, 13 years ago in Glasgow Sheriff Court, that I said the woman they sent into my life is guilty of 2 counts of culpable homicide by her own admission. I didn't know that they were actually remotely working her, which sounds far-fetched. They've got technology where, if they wanted right now, they could speak to me inside my head, which makes me sound insane. However, you'd have to be insane not to take this on board, right? Now, I think the cars are slowing down some filming. But as you can see, probably maybe not, but the long and the short of it is, they're dirtbags, and they've got billions and billions of pounds. And if you follow the money, you trace it straight back to these cocksuckers. Now you can see the registration plates of these dumb fucks. Every single one of them is a witness. You can get the registration plate numbers of every one of these cunts. Look at their bank balance, look at where they're getting their money from. It traces it straight back to these dirtbags, these fucking paedophile scumbags, right? And all the wee inbred fucking progeny, but with all their problems I don't give a fuck about, I'm supposed to, I've done my best to be compassionate, and every single time I've been compassionate, they just take advantage and try and make matters worse. And then say I'm a bad person. You couldn't make it up. I don't give a fuck about them. They're the scum of the earth. Yeah, I've tried my best to be compassionate towards these dirtbags who've committed every crime you can think of against me for 13 fucking years. Pieces of dirt, And so, unless it's happened to you, then you think to yourself, well, but look, this is what the streets normally like. Funny that, isn't it? The streets normally like this, and you just saw how they made it. Now imagine that for 13 years. They are pieces of shit, right? I'll probably start again. The thing is though, today I had to make absolutely sure it was anything. Well, there you go, start again. There you go, look. They're fucking dirtbags. They're just retards, They're obsessed with trying to cause people to have a negative emotional reaction, and because if you do, the nerves in your prefrontal cortex come under stress, and if there's enough stress, you end up exhausted, and if you're exhausted enough, you end up committing suicide. And if you don't, they will fucking kill you. And also, so they've lied to my entire family. They've lied to every person they can think of about me. They've paid my entire family to lie to me, and they've told them essentially I'm going to be killed. So there's some money for you, And so so my family will keep stum. So they've nothing to worry about as regards my so-called family. So if they kill my family, if they kill me, there's no need to kill my family. I don't give a fuck about my family. They're pieces of shit. They will literally, they've taken thousands and thousands of pounds off these billionaires to keep quiet. So there's no need for them to kill them. So if or when they kill me, if that's possible, then basically, although they'll try and get me sectioned, they've had me imprisoned, and although everything's been my deliberate choice, to be honest with you, just to try and be moral as I can be, and they always take advantage because they're fucking scumbags, and they run the entire system. If they wanted right now, they could have me arrested like that, and right now they could just have me sectioned like that. They just take advantage of you. No matter how compassionate you are, they'll move the goalposts. No matter how loving you are, they'll move the goalposts. No matter how caring you are, they'll move the goalposts. No matter how innocent you are, they'll pretend to everybody that you're guilty. They'll pretend that basically that you are what they are. And the ones who are in charge, right, use their inbred progeny as an excuse. They lie all the time. They're doing it for fucking decades. That their inbred progeny, that they tell lies about all these innocent people. So you can see, look, how many cars have you counted? There's a gap for about 2 nanoseconds. How many cars? Look, they are thick as shit, And this is the kind of shite they've been doing for 13 years. They are spastics, And so what I'm saying is, I'll say it one last time, the ones in charge, I know that the next generation of their family are inbred scum, right? And they've got all sorts of problems. I don't give a fuck about them. I didn't even know who the fuck they were. But they go about lying, saying that I did know. When I've never met them. I've only shagged one of their whores. And so the point, I've shagged a lot of whores. I didn't realise. The point is though, so basically, in spastic land, they go about telling all these greedy scumbags, Erol's a very bad person. Erol's a very bad person. Erol's a very bad person because lots of our family are cripples. And they've got mental problems, and they've been injured, and all sorts of bad things, right? And Erol knows this, and Erol's deliberately abusing the younger members of our family. He's a bad, bad man, right? And I'm telling you, they're in on it. As soon as they get home with all the cripples in their family, they pull their trousers down and start masturbating over what they're doing. Does that sound as though I'm guilty of anything? And so, to cut a long story short, it's right across the board, And the very fact I can film it happening live shows you how often it's actually been happening. But the thing is though, I didn't have a fucking clue it meant anything, because who would expect when people drive up and down a road that it means anything? And you've seen the volume of cars that have gone past when it's normally one every 10 minutes, and anyone well, let's put it this way, I repeat, I've lived here for half a decade. I've never seen this many cars in half a decade, right? In half a decade, let alone in, how long is this video? What, so many minutes? And so, all I'm saying is, these dirtbags, the number one thing is, the strange thing is this, I actually said thank you to them today. Because they taught me how greedy people are, including my own so-called family. They've paid my whole family to lie to me, to be disrespectful to me, to be absolute scumbags. Well, most of them are scumbags anyway. So the point is, though, there are some members of the family who told them to fuck off. So if something happens to me, they'll have to bump them off too. Maybe they will. And it's highly likely the ones that they've paid in my so-called family, they'll bump them off. You know, in the JFK assassination, the people lining the road saw it. Just about everyone of them get murdered. Check it out. So anyway, so if you do a deal with the devil, you get what you deserve. And I've never done a deal with the devil. I've told him to go fuck himself. You know, and the thing is though, it's always important to actually get to the bottom of these things. You know, and you're getting to the bottom. Look, how many assholes have you just seen driving by with coins coming out of their fucking ears? You know, if they gave me £20 trillion, I would never try and be disrespectful to somebody for no reason at all. I would never try and be sadistic. I'd never try and be cruel. I'd never try and torture someone. And they're actually addicted to torturing people. That's what they're trying to do. You might think, it's just people driving up and down. I know it's just people driving up and down the road. It took me all day to work it out. You know, they're as thick as shite. They're so stupid. Insects have a higher level of intelligence, right? So now you're seeing what billionaires do with their money, right? Billionaires are part of a suicide cult, right? And to keep the younger ones quiet, they give them this kind of job to do, give them enough coins and get them to target people they envy until they commit suicide. You know, and if they don't commit suicide, they put them into prison. And if they still don't commit suicide, they put them into an asylum. If they still don't commit suicide, well, they'll pretty much kill you, you know. And so, to cut long story short, X amount of neighbours though as well, this will blow your socks off. The next door neighbours, they actually paid them to be my next door neighbours. You couldn't make it up, right? And so the next door neighbours, though, to be fair, have been very, very quiet, but they've been paid to be quiet because I'm supposed to do my music at all hours, which I didn't realise. Even though the previous neighbours were paid, and they were told to tell me, look, we're your new neighbours and we're very, very quiet, make as much noise as you can. You know, who would say that to you unless they were fucking paid? And I still didn't, because I'm a conscientious motherfucker, I still didn't get it. You know, I didn't realise, all right, they're paid, they're bought and paid for. They want me to do my music at all hours. However, they fuck with each other and they pretend it's my fault. You know, they pretend it's my fault when one of them sets off fireworks and does this all day. If I say one word about it, if I say one word about this, I'm a bad person. You couldn't make it up. And if I even speak in my own house about it, they send psychiatric nurses to my door. And if I say boo, if I don't answer the shite they put on the internet to me, they send the police to my door and try and say they're going to kick my door in if I don't answer them on the internet. They're fucking obsessed with me. I know when I'm shaving and I had a nice shower and I'm, you know, and under the right lighting, I'm a not bad looking guy, and they've been obsessed with me for 13 fucking years, you know, from top to bottom, and most of them are homosexuals, you know. I've nothing against homosexuals, but I'm not homosexual though. They need to get that through their thick fucking skulls, you know. I've no interest in fucking spastics either, you know. So there's another guy, look, weaving in, you know. And so maybe this is one of the nurses. Let's see. Maybe they've actually sent a nurse to the house to see if they can section me. Let's see if I've got it live. Yeah, it does look like it, doesn't it? Oh no, the other way maybe. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to think, you know. I did think it, didn't I? And there's a nurse straight out. So is it live? But they're that predictable, you know. And so that's the kind of shite that they do. You know, they're obsessed with hoping you have a negative emotional reaction, and if they can't get you to do what they want, they can see past the basil. And basically, and one of the psychiatric nurses today said to me, if I film, that I'll get myself into trouble. What am I doing? It's not as bad now, is it? I mean, it wasn't bad in the first place. It's just basically, this is the kind of shite that they do. They're walking dirt, you know? And it took me all day. It took me all day to work out, is this anything? Does this mean something? You know, they've been spending their money all day on these fuck toys. It's like a giant game of Skeletrix, you know, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I mean, have you seen that one before? I mean, I've lived here for 5.5 years. I've never seen a car like that. And so there you go. So this is a typical example of being a targeted individual. I've been a targeted individual for 13 years, and I put on court record 13 years ago in Glasgow Sheriff Court. The person they sent into my life was guilty of 2 counts of culpable homicide. I didn't know it was them. She was just one of their fuck toys, you know. And their ambition was to try and to get me to commit suicide, and it's not going to happen. They can fucking send cars past my window all fucking day. They could fly past in broomsticks. I don't give a fuck. You know, I was told today that if I have any involvement in it, that I'm abusing vegetables. I repeat, they say that their own lower levels of their own family are vegetables, right? And it's a lie they spread to everybody to get them on board, give them money. Erol's abusing vegetables. Erol abusing this guy. He's in a wheelchair. A poor guy, poor innocent guy. They're evil incarnate, right? They might be in a fucking wheelchair, still an evil bastard, right? And they're just all scum. And so you can see, look, they're as thick as shite. This is meant to mean something, you know. However, if I had a live fMRI brain scan, the nerves in my prefrontal cortex are 100% intact. They're under no stress. Does my voice sound stressed? You know, so you can see this is what the Spastic Society are obsessed with, because they think they can hide it in plain view. But you've now seen it live, right? In a street that has 1 car every 10 minutes. Tell me how many vehicles you counted. Did you take your socks off? You know, and so anyway, in a nutcake, earlier on today they let off fireworks outside the house, you know, and so on and so forth. So, and if it's not that, then they told me today that I'm lucky because they stopped hammering my door at 4 a.m. They did just send the police to my door though, and just sent 2 psychiatric nurses to tell me they're now going to be in my life on a regular basis. If you give scum enough money, they'll do anything, you know. I'm completely different from this species. I'm genuinely a fucking alien on the wrong planet, you know. And they've tried everything to have an adverse effect on me, and see if I go along with it. I'm as compassionate as I can possibly be. They move the goalposts. And try and make out I'm a bad person. You couldn't make it up. You know, they're evil incarnate. They're all sadistic sex offenders, and they're guilty of countless acts of culpable homicide. They're serial killers, you know. Serial killers. And so you've now seen it live, unmistakably, in a street that has 1 car every 10 minutes. Tell me how many cars you counted. Could I possibly be wrong? Could this be like an amazing aberration where after half a decade of living here, 1 car every 10 minutes, suddenly there's what? You tell me how many cars you counted, you know? That's how stupid they are. It took me all day to work out what that even was supposed to mean something, you know? I didn't realise it meant anything, you know? So I kept my windows open, as I mentioned a couple of times. And after a while I thought, oh, hang on, it's meant to mean something. And then I worked it, all right, they're hoping that I get upset and angry. So I kind of went along with it. And I told them, you're spastics. You're hiring spastics to prove you're spastics. What's your point? Hire more spastics. And sure as fuck, the cars just kept coming and coming and coming. And I said, well, hire another car to prove you're a spastic. And there's another car to prove they're a spastic. So I kept doing that. And I think that angered them. So then they got the psychiatric nurses to phone to try and stop me saying anything. Well, they could just stop targeting me. They have been targeting me for 13 fucking years, and I've never filmed it before. Never. You know, if I filmed some of the stuff, you'd go, what the fuck? You know, this is fuck all. It took me all day to work out it even is supposed to mean something. That's how stupid they are. And that's how desperate they are. That's how determined they are. That's how angry I make them just by saying boo. You know, if I say 2 + 2 = 4, if I say 2 + 2 = 4, they lose their mind. You know, they've only got a tiny mind. And between them, a hive mind, you know, calling them an insect's an insult to fucking insects. I love insects, actually. And so, to conclude, you'll be glad to hear, they've pretty much we'll see if it picks up again or not. And if it doesn't pick up again, I'll just stop filming. There's fuck all to film anyway, you know. And to conclude, as you can see, how many of them are breaking the speed limit for the money they're paid? You know, they're thick as shit. And like I say, I repeat it. The weird thing is, today I actually thanked them for teaching me what greed means. And you've just seen live what greed means. These scumbags will do whatever the fuck you tell them for money. My own so-called family have taken thousands of them to lie to me, to be disrespectful towards me. You name it. And they've committed every crime you could possibly think of against me. And so, I mean, the thing is though, I repeat, it took me all fucking day to work out this was meant to mean something. I even left my windows open, as I said a few times, to work out, does this mean anything? Does this mean anything? And it turns out it's meant to. In spastic land, this is meant to cause you to have a negative emotion reaction. Validating egomaniac shite. So that stands for nerves, if I say it properly next time. And basically, you know, and if the nerves do break down your prefrontal cortex, which happened to me when I was in my early 20s, you suffer a nervous breakdown. And it takes you about a year, somewhere between like 6 to 18 months to recover. And then it'll take a lot longer to recover from that step by step. On average, it takes between 6 to 18 months, and then it's actually a wee bit better. Well, a lot better. And so, because that had happened to me, I was trying to be nice to them. And I was trying to say to them, look, because I do stand-up comedy, I'll do some stand-up comedy and do for you what Bill Hicks did for me. And this is the shite you get. They're just spastics, you know. And anytime you try to be compassionate towards them, they move the fucking goalposts. And if you try and be compassionate towards them again and understanding and take fuck all to do with them, I forgot they even existed, right? And they basically came back into my life again because indifference drives them up the wall, you know. So I closed my curtains earlier and it's still going. I went into the hall and spoke to a tin of button mushrooms, you know, and explained to the button mushrooms they're a higher form of vegetable, and it's still going on, you know. They're as thick as shite, you know. They could do this. They could do this night and day. It doesn't matter a fuck to me. They're as thick as shite, you know. They're good. They're spent. How much money have they spent today? You might be horrified to find out how many thousands they spent on this performance, you know. Think about how much each person has taken to drive up this street, right? How much, say for example, that guy passing right now has been paid £500. How many cars, multiply it by £500? That's what they just spent here today. They're as thick as shite, you know. And they're billionaires, so they've got money coming out their arse, you know. And I just want to try and help people. That's all I've done my entire adult life. And this scum just want to kill people. And they prey on you until you commit suicide. And so, and like I say, they go about lying about me, these fucking cunts, and pretending they're the good guys and I'm the bad guy. And I somehow knew their entire family were cripples and da-da-da-da-da and all this bullshit. They're all junkie wankers. And if you're in a different country, junkie jerk-offs. They spend all day fucking masturbating over killing people. And this is the kind of shite they do until you're tormented by them, until you're tortured by them. And then they say if you get angry, you're drinking poison. I don't really give a fuck about them. You know, I genuinely don't give a fuck about them. I try to be compassionate. They've never been in my life in person, although I've met them, I've seen a couple of them about, you know. And obviously that last they sent in my life was I met her in person. What I'm saying is though, these fucking scumbags are obsessed with trying to, it's called ambient abuse. Look it up, ambient abuse. The spastics will do anything, like hammer your door, try and have traffic go past your window all the fucking time, let off fireworks, and send people into your fucking house, you know, like doctors, nurses, fucking police, you know, you name it. You see it driving in the middle of the road. And so the spastics are obsessed with ambient abuse, because if you try and adversely affect someone's peace of mind, and you keep doing it and keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, eventually you exhaust them. And if you exhaust them, they're highly likely to commit suicide. And these pieces of shit, these magical thinking fucking spastics, believe, they believe it's magic. They believe they've got magical powers, you know. That if you commit suicide, well, they've got another under their belt to prove they've got magical powers. Yeah, as you can see, that guy's doing what, 50 mile an hour in a 20 mile zone. How many more cars would you have to see but greedy fucking retards? However, I repeat, though, I did thank them today for showing me this, you know, because I didn't have that lens. This is my lens. You know, I didn't understand what greed meant, you know. I genuinely didn't understand. Because I don't have a greedy bone in my body. If somebody gave me £20 million to drive down your street, up and down, up and down, up and down all day, I'd kill them. I'd rather kill them than do that to you. You know? And so, however, I know the average person's as thick as shit, doesn't give a fuck. So anyway, so the pieces of shit get away with it. And if they give people enough money, I repeat, they say jump, they'll say fucking how high. And don't get me wrong, a lot of them don't have a clue. They're just like, £500 to drive up the street, no worries. However, they know, X amount of them do know, that they're involved in ambient abuse. They don't give a fuck though, because they're getting paid. You know, if somebody asked me to drive up and down your street all day for £500 per journey, I would kick them in the fucking nuts, you know. I'd spit in their face, you know. So you see again how many cars there are. They're as thick as shite. They are so stupid, it's almost unfucking believable. And so, like I say, in Spastic Land, it's important to tell you, they're part of a team. You know, there's teams, they play against each other and they gamble. And if the person has the reaction they're looking for, you know, they high-five each other with hooves akimbo. And they also, like, money changes hands, or like kudos changes hands, or pause. And so, in Spastic Land, this is the kind of shite they do on a regular basis. And for some fucking reason, in Spastic Land, they got this into their head today that this would be a thing. So I thought to myself, well, is it a thing? And so I thought, well, I'll give it some thought and see if it is a thing. And it turns out it is a thing, you know. Basically, that if they send enough cars past your window in Spastic Land, then you must have a negative emotion reaction, validating egomaniac shite. And if you have that, I repeat, you end up causing yourself post-traumatic stress disorder. Now you might think, well, how can that happen just from traffic going past your window? I repeat, 13 years of crimes. If I was to list them all, you'd go, no fucking way. You know, I think the average person would probably have killed themselves after a year. 13 years later, I don't give a fuck about them. And they're still lying about me to every cunt they can get their tongue into their ear and give them money. Lie, lying bastards, you know. And that's the lie. That Erol's a bad person. Some of our families are vegetables and cripples. Erol knows this. He's abusing all these innocent cripples. They're all rabid sex offenders who are guilty of countless acts of culpable homicide. Does that sound like innocent people who are vegetables? Or does it sound like evil scumbags? Right? Now, they're sending people past on their mobile phones so you understand that they're a part of their teams, you know, and they're using the mobile phones, each one paying money. You do that. So I didn't think it was just one person, you know. Although earlier on today they did try and imply it was like a girl who's got mental issues. But I'm of the mind it's probably several of them, and several of them all paying money for cars to drive past this window because they're fucking desperate to have a negative effect on me. I don't give a fuck about them. They're wee pieces of dirt, you know. And so, for some reason, I've angered them. I anger them just by breathing in and out. They envy me that much. And they've been pursuing me for 13 fucking years. They are spastics, you know. And so, don't get me wrong, some of them have actually said very, very complimentary things about me. And I know they get magical ideation about me as well, and tugging blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck about them. Anyway, the point is, so I had to find out for myself, is this anything? And in Spastic Land, it's supposed to mean something. Now you see ambient abuse live. You've seen it fucking live, right? And now look, that's what the street's normally like. It's normally like this. For 10 minutes, and you like one car, right? Again, how many cars did you count? Yeah, they're as thick as shite, you know. And they're billionaires, so they've got money coming out their arse. And it's as simple as that. And in the background, I'm being sent texts, no doubt, from psychiatric nurses who are whores, who've been told, Erol, stop fucking filming and telling the truth. You know, why not just stop your fucking garbage and fuck off and die, you know. So I had to be absolutely certain, and they know that about me. I had to be absolutely certain, is this anything? It turns out it is. It means something to them, you know, that if they hire enough cars to drive past my house, I must get angry, must get upset, and unwittingly cause myself PTSD, and then kill myself. You know. However, it took me fucking about an hour to work out. All right, it's meant to mean something, you know. And so, have you worked out that it's meant to mean something? Well, I'll end it here, and I'll go and find out what the nurses who they've paid to try and abuse me are saying next. Because I deliberately had myself imprisoned, so the female who they sent into my life didn't get in prison. I deliberately had myself sectioned so that she wouldn't face any charges. I didn't know she was just their fuck toy, you know. And their ambition was to start a game with me in it, so they could abuse me until I committed suicide. And they ended up following me to every single part of the earth you can think of. They even followed me to Ethiopia, right? And used every trick in the book to try and get me back, so these scumbags could try and keep me here. These dirtbags could keep me here and try and keep me essentially imprisoned, you know. However, I fuck off to the local nature reserve, you know, they follow me even there, you know. Dumb fucks, you know. And so, look up remote neural monitoring and learn what's happening right now. These dirtbags can see anybody, they can see through any cunt's eyes, they can read your fucking thoughts, they can read your memory banks. You think that's bullshit, wake the fuck up, right? And so, so this is what you're seeing. They're just dumb fucking cocksuckers, you know, and just they'll do this all day. They're as thick as shite, you know. And if I speak about it in spastic land, they go, yes, it's working, it's working, because you're speaking about it. If they get any reaction or what they think is a reaction of any kind at all in spastic land, any reaction of any kind, in spastic land, that's a victory. You couldn't make it up, you know. And today, and for days and days and days, I've been told, Erol, don't say anything, don't do anything, they're vegetables. And so, I've not to say a word. But I didn't know it meant anything. I had to find out, does this mean anything? You know, it turns out they've spent a lot of money today on hiring all these fucking greedy retards to prove that they're spastics. And they've been doing this for 13 fucking years. And you might think, okay, well, that's fuck all. Somebody just driving up and down. How about this? Hammering your door between 10 p.m. and 4 in the morning for fucking years. How about kicking the double doors off the security doors right next to my front door? I suppose you're supposed to think this wee guy, because he's just a wee guy, you're supposed to realise, oh, it's just the younger ones. It's the younger members of the family who are fuck toys, you know. They're all in it. And so you're meant to think, oh, it's just the young team. I was told that 13 years ago. Oh, it's just a young team. Don't personalise it. It's just a young team. 13 years later. Oh, it's still a young team. So what age are the young team now? Still a young team. They never develop beyond infancy. And from top to bottom, the cult, the suicide cult, that's what they are. They're a suicide cult. From top to bottom, they teach the young ones to become the scum of the fucking earth. And then I repeat for the last time of saying it, they bullshit everyone that I know that it's the young team, and the young team are all mentally handicapped. I've never met them. So how would I know that? And they lie to all these fucking dirtbags that I know for a fact I'm abusing young boys and young girls. What the fuck? And then the ones in charge who lie about me to all these people, doctors, nurses, police, you name it, my own so-called family who are scumbags. Once they say, Erol's a bad person, we need to teach him a valuable lesson, he's abusing all these young teams, you know, when they get home, they get on the same couch as the young team, pull their pants down and start masturbating, right, over what they're doing, right, because they can watch it remotely. Just like, see, what you can see right now, you're essentially seeing through my eyes. Think about that. What I'm seeing is what you're seeing. Really get your head around that, right? What I see with my eyes, they can fucking see. What you see with your eyes, they could see if they want to target you. And they targeted me, I think because people told them I'm quite sensitive and all the rest of it. They picked on the wrong motherfucker. Because I was abused as a child, heinously. And so I trained with the best, you know. And so their shit's fucking garbage. And this is what they're fucking reduced to. And I'm supposed to think it's just the young team doing this, right? They're in control of the young team. It's all bullshit, you know. And they sit down on the couch tonight and masturbate all together. You know, obviously they're in different houses, but as part of a network, they call it a magic circle. It's a ring of sex offenders. And they do gamble and things like that, and high-five each other with hooves akimbo. However, the crux of it all is, what they're obsessed with is targeting the most beautiful women, targeting the most beautiful men, isolating you, trying to get the system involved, the police, the kangaroo courts, the psychiatric care team. If you tell the truth about them, these dirtbags will have you fucking sectioned. And so I chose to have myself sectioned to try and stop this particular chick who I thought was entirely, I could help morally reform her. I didn't know she was one of their fuck toys, and these dirtbags were behind her. They're using her to target me to try and kill me, And all these years, I was just trying to be compassionate, understanding, morally reform her from a safe distance. I'll say it again. Morally reform her from a safe distance. And so, yet, before I left this country, to go to Porcupants, as I call it, I left on court record, which they'll probably delete. 13 years ago, I documented that she's a serial killer. I'll not mention her name because I don't want to get her into trouble, even though she started this shit. I think they did something heinous to her. And that's how she came into my life. And she was very, very helpful. And so I still thank her, even though she unleashed merry hell on me. I'm supposed to read something like that, dumb fuck with a bald head. So anyway, the point is, though, the long and the short of it is, I think he's probably on 55 pence per hour. And so, in a nutcake, the thing that will blow your socks off is, at some juncture, they can actually come into your dreams and pass on information to you whilst you're asleep. I've even foiled them at that. And recently, though, the latest dream they gave me, I actually said to them, for the first time, you've actually done something intelligent. It was the first intelligent thought I think they've ever had in their fucking life. So I came to a compassionate conclusion. I was supposed to think, when you look at the Indian guy, that they're eating in celebration, they're eating in celebration, or that I'm somehow eating, poison, they're as thick as shit, and like I say, in the dream, it was such an amazing dream. It was a series of dreams. I woke up from it, and I thanked them because I understood, and I came to a very compassionate conclusion. But give it 5 minutes, and they just move the goalposts again. Give it another 5 minutes, no matter how compassionate, no matter how Christ-like I've been, because I am, and no matter how moral, how understanding, how selfless, I've said to them, I'm even prepared to do my comedy for you like Bill Hicks did for me. And give it 5 minutes, and the police are at your door, bullshitting you that your nephew, who's a scumbag, has sent them, which is not true. He didn't, You better answer a message that's been left on the internet, or we're going to kick your door in. You couldn't make that up. And so these pieces of dirt have been obsessed with me for 13 years. They're fucking retards. So anyway, it seems to have died down. Maybe they've run out of money. But I'm supposed to think, when the Indian guy went by, that either it could be like, there is an Indian, one of them, who's obsessed with me. She's a fucking fruitcake. And even though I've donated tons of my money proportionately to India, she's a piece of shit, and she obviously just hates me for no fucking reason, because she hates herself. So like I say, this is what I've been, witnessing for 13 years. They've taken advantage of me because at each juncture they know I'll be compassionate, understanding, caring, considerate, try to work out the best solutions, for everybody. And I thought to myself, all right, they just want me to stop exposing top secrets. Then it became clear to me it's a game, and they don't want me to expose the game. And the game's called being serial killers, and it's called a suicide cult. And so there's another one. Looking at the mobile phone, they're obsessed with telling you what that's meant to represent one of the team. And so they like to represent them, so it's called Transformers, morons in disguise, and so each one of them will say, they'll hire somebody that kind of looks roughly like them, go, hey, fuck knows, God help them, although there's no such thing as a God. However, if one of them looks like that, no luck to them. And so anyway, and so basically in spastic land, they're obsessed with seeing if they'll target beautiful women, beautiful men, and eventually they commit suicide. you know, and these dirtbags are guilty of countless acts of evil. They use the same scripts. Oh, that woman, she knows that her family are spastics, and so therefore she's a bad one. And then they go home and masturbate while watching that woman until she commits suicide, you know. They just keep targeting her, so she has enough and kills herself. And if she doesn't, then the police will come to the door. And if she says anything about it, she gets fucking sectioned. And if she says anything, but she stays in longer. If she says anything about it, somebody will come to the fucking door. Thing is, I actually forgot all about them. I've been busy. I actually forgot they even exist, you know. And when that they basically targeted me again and again until I went, oh fuck I've forgotten all about them. I've forgotten they even exist, you know. And so indifference drives them insane. They're insane anyway, you know. And so basically, I always try to find a moral solution. And no matter what conclusion I come to, no matter what moral solution I come to, these fucking low-life cunts, I just start again, you know. And I was told the ones in charge are the ones causing it. They keep moving the goalposts, and that's part of the game, you know. So there is no end, you know. And so they'll tell you, well, there's an end. If you shut it and let us try and ambient abuse you until you're dead, there'll be an end when you're dead, you know. They're scum, you know. And so those billionaires are in charge of your country. It's a police state, you know. They're in charge of the police farce, they're in charge of the kangaroo courts, they're in charge of your psychiatrist, they're in charge of just about everything, really. And they got money coming out their arse. And what they do, these miserable inbred fucking gutter trash cunts, what they do to try and ameliorate against being the scum of the fucking earth, they run a suicide cult and kill as many people as they can on a regular basis and get off on it sexually. And they essentially worship Lucifer, you know, an imaginary animal god. You know, they're so intelligent. And so anyway, you've seen enough. I'll upload this now, and basically people can see it. However, the point is this though: if I was to send this to my so-called family, the reaction would be, "It's okay, Erol. I was given £55,000. Get the fuck." If I was to send this to the police farce, they'd come around and arrest me right away. If I was to send it to a psychiatrist, they'd have me sectioned immediately. And if I was to send it to a lawyer, the lawyer would be paid immediately and tell me to get the fuck, you know. If I was to take it to court, the paedophile in a wig would be a Freemason and he'd send me to prison, you know, pretend it's like a crime to film what's happening outside your window. Oh, there's something wrong with you. So, being able to film what's happening outside your window, that makes it you that is what they are. You know, they're as thick as shite. They're dumb as a box of fucking rocks. That how much money have they spent today? They're as thick as shit. And like, I'll repeat for the last time of saying it, it took me an hour with the window open to work out it was meant to mean anything. They are fucking retards, you know. Their own family call them vegetables, although they're using that as an excuse to try and make it I'm a bad person for abusing vegetables, you know. Their own family call them vegetables, you know. What does that tell you? However, the ones telling everyone that they're vegetables are serial killers. Now, Erol's a bad person, and he needs to stop abusing these vegetables. And if he stops abusing the vegetables, it'll all stop. And no matter how many times you stop abusing vegetables, when you don't even know what they're talking about, you've never met these wee dunce cunts, you know. You don't give a fuck about them, and their shit's fucking garbage. And if you forget all about that they even exist, they will break into your life again. And so, because indifference drives them up the fucking wall. And for some reason, they're obsessed with me. Probably because I've been doing comedy videos for 13 years. I'm phenomenally intelligent, and by comparison, they're literally a cockroach by comparison to George Orwell. You know. So anyway, every act of evil they could possibly commit against me, they've tried and failed. And this is what they're reduced to. And again, they'll pretend, oh, it's the young ones, it's the dafties, you know. They're all the exact same. It's a suicide cult, and a suicide cult, and a suicide cult. They're that stupid. So if somebody pays you £500 to drive up and down the street, just take it. I don't give a fuck. You know, if they tell you to put a penny farthing up your arse, do it. Say it and give us 1,000. We'll give you fucking 10. You know. If you say to them, you know, if they say to you, let's use a pogo stick to go up and down the fucking street in front of Erol's house, just ask them for £10,000 and do it all fucking day. You know? Their shit's garbage. For the last time of saying it, took me a fucking hour to work out that people can be that retarded. You know? Here we go. I think they got the message quite late, that one. She'd been doing 50 there, in the middle of the road, you know. And so there's a hearse. And so and so, like I say, so now you've seen it live. This is what it's like to be a targeted individual. Imagine this for 13 years. And the thing is, the vast majority of the time, it's just, I don't even notice it. It's fucking garbage. I'm so used to hatred. It doesn't matter a fuck to me. I was abused heinously as a child. So it kind of just like par for the course. Doesn't mean anything. And so, however, you've seen it in a street, I'll say it for the last time, where you have one car every 10 minutes. And I know this having lived here for over half a decade. Now, if I want to leave the house right now and go down the nature reserve, I can do that. I did it recently. But they were waiting for me when I got there. Scumbags. And so, nonetheless, I can do that. These dumb fucks think I've got to stay in the house so the spastics can target me in some way. And if it's not up and down the road proving that they're fucking retards, you know, then it's hammering at the door, sending the police force, sending nurses round to tell me if I don't stop reflecting shite exactly as they are, walking shite, yeah, then I'll be sectioned. This'll happen to me, that'll happen to me. And they talk constant shite to all these fucking whores, you know. Erol's this, Erol's that, we're the good ones. Erol needs to learn this valuable lesson. 13 years they've been talking shite to all these fucking whores that I need to learn valuable lessons, these fucking serial killers who followed me to Ethiopia, Dubai, Portugal. They followed me to Liverpool, Manchester, London, Wales, Dublin, Belfast. They followed me fucking everywhere, these dumb fucking bastards. Determined for me not to escape when I don't give a fuck about them. They're just gutter fucking trash with money coming out their fucking arseholes, you know. And the bullshit is 100% transparent to me. I'm the good one. They're walking shite. They're all serial killers. It's a suicide cult. And they sit down in front of their televisions and you're seeing what I can see through my eyes. Funny that. Now think about the technology they've got. Well, they can see what I'm seeing through my eyes, and you can see what I'm seeing through my eyes. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to work that one out. And it's called remote neural monitoring. Look it up. Yeah. Next time you're going to have a wank, next time you're going to masturbate, realise these dirtbags can look through your fucking eyes. They can scour your memory banks. And they try and take advantage of you, try and work out what they think are your weaknesses, maybe bad secrets you have, blackmail you, that kind of shit. However, they found fuck all in my history, because I'm a really good motherfucker. And don't get me wrong, no one's perfect. And so, in a nutcake, I think they've ran out of fucking tokens for the meter. Look, well, maybe not. Maybe somebody's breaking open their piggy bank, you know, which has got a higher IQ than they have collectively. And so, so basically, all these. Oh no, I don't know if the baby was told to look up here. I think the black man and kid were told to walk past because they know that I'm a very charitable man. They did follow me to Africa when I wanted to basically live there, farm there, fuck off there. They made sure that I came back. They wouldn't let me go. Yeah, I wanted to. Well, I could have stayed there, but they arrested 20,000 euros of my money in Portugal. And if they hadn't have, I'd still be out there, you know. But they followed me everywhere in Addis Ababa, these dumb fucking dirty low-life inbred fucking spastics. These pieces of fucking filth. You know, I'm the good one. They are pieces of shite. They're all serial killers, yeah. And so I decided, I even said to them, I'll keep your secrets. I'll not tell anybody. Because I want to work for charity again. I know you've corrupted my entire so-called family. Fuck them, they're pieces of dirt. You know, I just want to work for charity. I want to basically produce food. For example, you just heard a horn toot there. And that guy, the guy doesn't live here. The guy in the car doesn't know him. It's part of the bullshit, you know. And so that aside, I know that having lived here for half a decade, and so they're as thick as shite. So anyway, in a nutcake, so these dirtbags took advantage of me coming back from Africa to England, Then I went one further and went back to Scotland because my guitar gets sent to Scotland. So I made sure that I went to Scotland with it. And then they had me arrested at the airport because they literally run the entire system. These fucking Freemasonic paedophile fucking vermin. And they are rife. The entire family are inbred fucking garbage. And they only have themselves to blame because basically they enjoy being a suicide cult. That's top secret, you know. And they'll pay anybody. And that what my so-called family don't know is by taking all this money off them, when or if they bump me off, they will probably murder them. You know, if you do a deal with the devil, you get what you deserve. I repeat, all the people, right, there you go. I was supposed to think, just some wee naughty spastic on a scooter. You know, it's all of them. They're all in it, from top to bottom. For even the granddad, if he's still alive, I was told all about quite some time ago. He sees himself as being the Black Pope. He's the one in charge of the gravy train, you know. And so you're seeing it. I mean, what's that now? Is that an hour? An hour of traffic, and what I can prove to you is documented by the police as being one of the quietest streets in Motherwell. And you've seen an hour of traffic breaking the speed limit, travelling down this street, and it's got a dead end at the bottom. It's a dead end, and it's been happening for over an hour, right? And before I recorded this, it's been happening all day. They're as thick as shite. They got money coming out their fucking arseholes. They are fucking retards. And their own family call them fucking vegetables, right? I call them spastics. That's what they are. And if you actually analyse what they are, they're a lower form of life than an insect. Fact. You know, if you look at their fMRI brain scan, behind their eyes they've got an arsehole. Fact. And so they're just void of humanity, and to ameliorate against what they've become, they target beautiful women, beautiful men, and they won't stop until you commit suicide. And so this is called ambient abuse, as you now know. And so basically they try and pass on like coded messages and things like that. And so this might be a message, as hard as it might be for you to understand, right? The guy staggering down the road with two Asda bags. You think, well, what's that mean? It doesn't matter. Eventually you might work. Eventually I might work at it, you know. And so they pass on crazy messages, and you eventually get into the gist of it. You know, you understand it. However, I repeat what I said today. I actually said thank you to these cunts, you know, for teaching me what greed means. They're that same asshole. Look, the same asshole. You say, well, he's maybe going in that direction, he's coming back again. No, it's the same asshole wanting in on the act, you know. And so, do you not see that car I would buy? That's about £30,000. You know, I didn't realise that. Now, there's no cars in this street that cost £30,000, right? In fact, so there's a bit of a giveaway. And you've got the registration number of every single one of these dirtbags. Now you have to do is follow the money, and you'll track these cunts down. I don't expect you to do it though. I expect you just to eat your dinner and no give a fuck, you know. And so, in a nutcake, I don't give a fuck about them, and I forgot they even exist. And because of that indifference, they all targeted me again until I woke up and went, "What the fuck? I forgot those cunts even exist." And then they were at me, trying to mess with me, taking advantage of my compassion, taking advantage of my morality, taking advantage of my sympathy, targeting every single thing that I've been doing. They've been creeping up all around me. As I mentioned, it'll blow your socks off, I'll say it again. They paid my next door neighbours to be my next door neighbours. If that doesn't make me sound paranoid and insane, I don't know what does. And the good news is though, I keep forgetting that, all right, they've paid them, so I can do my music at 4 a.m, you know. And because I'm conscientious, I rarely do. But they wouldn't give a fuck because they're paid to be my neighbours, and they'll be your neighbours for fucking years because they get paid to be your neighbours, you know. And all these cunts around here, X amount of them will get money to do bits and bobs. I thanked them today because I didn't understand what greed meant. I really didn't understand what greed meant. And I thanked them for giving me this lens that you're seeing through. This lens is called greed. You know, this is what the street's normally like. Hear anything? Here it comes. Here it comes. You know, the street is normally this quiet. Right? Right? Funny that. Normally this quiet. And what have you just seen? Over an hour of spastics being paid by spastics because of greed. I repeat for the last time of saying it. If somebody paid me to try and torture you in any way, shape or form, if they offered me £20 million, I'd knock fuck out of them. But my own so-called family have been paid tens of thousands to betray me in every way they possibly can. It's okay though, I actually even thank them for that, because their punishment for doing that is of biblical proportion, you know. So I thank them for that. I also thank them for teaching me what greed means, because I don't have a greedy bone in my body. The very fact they followed me to Africa is because I just want to give them my money away to charity. When I got back from Ethiopia, the first thing I did was give 20,000 to Nigeria, you know, on record. And what did they do? They interfered with that and tried to stop the money getting through to try and fuck with me, these dumb fucking bastards, you know. Although some of them did help me get some of the money through, which they know. And so, and some of them will make token gestures to pretend they're a better person. I'm quietly confident they're not a better person than me. They compare to me like a fucking termite compares to George Harrison, you know? And so, and that's an insult to termites. So anyway, so I've documented this. I'll now go and answer the psychiatric nurses who've been paid to tell me that if I tell the truth about them, I'll be sectioned. You couldn't make it up. And the other night, I repeat, on record, the police kicked my door and said they were going to kick my door in if I didn't answer one of them on the internet, right? And bullshitted me that it was my nephew that actually told them to kick my door in. They did not have a warrant. I let them in anyway because they were, you know, shouting their heads off. And I ate my dinner first. It was really tasty, and so I ate my entire dinner first. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and have a drink. So I doubled back and went and had some pink lemonade, and then opened the door and told them they were nutcases, you know. And they came in and talked shite, and they told me that one of the head bummers, who's been targeting me for 13 years, is a transvestite who can actually see me through the television. Now, if that doesn't make me sound insane, I don't know what does. And so, and that's the thing they can't understand. I'm not homosexual. I'm not homosexual. And a significant percentage of the ones targeting me are homosexual, and I don't want anything to do with them, you know, at all. They've followed me everywhere. They know how good a man I am, and that's the problem, you know. They envy me so much, and I'm not in any competition with them. I've tried to be compassionate towards them. There you go. Another van that cost 30 grand. What's the odds of that? 2 vans that cost 30 grand going down a fucking run down back street, you know, in the middle of nowhere. And so, to conclude, so this piece of shit and these other pieces of shit, 3 of them I know of are homosexual. And I don't want anything to do with them. I'm not homosexual. They know I'm heterosexual, you know. Everyone experiments. You know, I've looked at homosexual things, you know. I've typed and tried to understand homosexuality. It's not for me, you know. I just love big butts, you know. I love women. It's the guy looking back there. He couldn't make it up. They just do exactly as they're told, these wee dicks. I know a lot of them are just desperate. You give somebody who's desperate £500, they'll do, you know, just say, how high? There's ones who know what's happening though, and you know, they'll ask for more money. They'll do it. The root of all evil is sadism. There's the exact same card going back up. I noticed that one going down. So the root of all evil is sadism, and greed is the penultimate step towards becoming evil. And every single person I know has sold their soul to these fucking pieces of shit. I even thanked them for that in a roundabout way and told them, look, although I can't thank you for punishing every scumbag that's in my life that I shouldn't have had in my life, they knew I shouldn't have had in my life, I got rid of them. And these cunts sent these people back into my life, and you need to teach Erol a valuable lesson. You couldn't make it up. They just talk constant shite. You know, they are false-hearted judges dying in the webs that they spin. And so, to conclude though, and so, in a nutcake, I'm not homosexual. I'm 100% heterosexual. I love women, you know. But at least I love the look of them, you know. And once upon a time, I wanted to meet one with a heart. No, I couldn't, because if I was to strip a woman naked, they can see it. I wouldn't do that to women. And mind you, they wouldn't get off on it because they're all poofters. No offence to homosexuals, me saying that, it's just a joke. You know, I've nothing against homosexuals. I cried for 2 weeks when Freddie Mercury died. You know, I cried when Kenny Everett died, I think. You know, and so on. I used to love Kenny Everett. He's one of the greatest comedians of all time. You know, and so to conclude, there's a wee neighbour up there who was told to tap the fence. Look, he's a winner. And so he's never done that before. I've seen that wee prick for years. He's never once stopped over there and tapped the fence, you know. The people will do absolutely anything for money. Now, does that seem like a bad thing? You would think, well, not really. Not really. But there's ones who know what they're doing. Earlier on today, they paid somebody to go over to the dustbins there and batter fuck out them. And I thought, all right, so it is something. Oh, somebody's trying to ambient abuse. I hadn't come to the phrase ambient abuse. I hadn't thought about it for a while. And so, in a nutcake, so the scumbags, like I say, if the spastics think they're getting any kind of reaction at all. So there's another one looking at the phone. And you have to think to yourself, all right, it's just some wee dick. Just some wee dick. Fuck him. Just a wee dick. Right? Just a wee dick with a mobile phone. There's another wee dick on a bike, you know. So that you're supposed to think, all right, it's just wee dicks. They're all in it together, right? They'll pretend to be good cop, bad cop, evil one, Lucifer worshipper, Satan worshipper. They're all serial killers, and they're teaching the young that's power. Basically, power means to these retards to be able to murder as many people as possible in plain view and get away with it. And the higher your body count, the more powerful you are. They are gutter trash. They are scum, right? And that's who's in charge of your corrupt puppet politicians. That's who's in charge of your police farce. That's who's in charge of your psychiatric unit. That's who's in charge of your court system, your kangaroo court system. That's who's in charge of your fucking media. That's who's in charge of your soldiers. That's who's in charge of absolutely every aspect of your life. A suicide cult, who are in a suicide cult being murdered by the people who gave them what they call power. You know, which they would have had without these dumb fucks. And they wouldn't have been as bad a people. But they get infiltrated by Pharaoh's fuck toys, if you know your history. They get infiltrated, taken over, and now they're fucking owned by the scum of the earth and can be relied upon to be insolent, virtuous extensions of a diseased paedophile ring, targeting the very best in their culture, the most beautiful women, the most wonderful men, to stop us from being who we are. Infinitely superior to them, these soulless beasts. So there's another one, looking at his mobile phone. You have to think, oh, it's just the young team. They've been telling me it's just the young team for 13 fucking years now, I think about it. The thing is, I forgot about them. I genuinely forgot about them. They didn't even enter my fucking head. And one day they thought, let's going to pick on him again. Let's wake him up. And so they did. They woke me up and then started the exact same shite. Trying to get me angry, which they did, you know, and I calmed down, and I slept on and off for about 4 days, right? Not because I was exhausted, I was giving it a lot of thought, you know, and so after 4 days, I thought to myself, you know, well, I'll just be on and off. I said, in here, I'll be more and more compassionate, and even, you know, an even better person towards serial killers. And still that wasn't enough for them. You know, that wasn't enough for them. You know, being an even better man towards serial killers. And the end, I even said to them, I'll keep the game to myself. I'll not tell anybody, right? And so my family are so corrupt. One of them just said to me, write a will, Erol. Could you just write a will for yourself? Because they've been told they're gonna kill me, you know. And so obviously I'm not. I don't have any fear. Let's put it that way. So I'm not scared of them, and they know that. And to conclude, basically, think about a member of your so-called family. She's some piece of shit, really, and that's what she said to me. Erol, essentially, could you write a will? Think about that, right? That's how far they've got their elbow hanging out of these scumbags' arseholes. and they infiltrate your entire family, try and isolate you, and try and make it really, really hard for you. And so when you're isolated, they can prey on you. What's the ambition? Post-traumatic stress disorder. And I said it in court 13 years ago, this is their ambition, to cause people post-traumatic stress disorder till they commit suicide. And if you recover, they'll target you again, right? The thing is, I didn't have post-traumatic stress disorder. I just forgot about them. And that drove them up the fucking wall. Next thing, they're all back from the fucking grave, and it turns out they were all around me all along. I didn't even realise. They paid this one, paid that one. You pretend to be good cop, bad cop. They're scum, just fucking scum, you know, from top to bottom. And I've tried my best to be compassionate, moral, wise. It's not very hard for me to be compassionate. It's the meaning of life. And so, in a nutcake, I'll upload this, and you know they'll oppress it, and I'll send it to every scumbag I know, and their reaction will be, you know, I don't care. I'll send it, and they'll see what these pieces of shite are all about. Right? So I'll leave you with that thought. I'll say one last thing. I've said it a few times. It took me a fucking hour to work out they're this stupid. And all I wanted to be was the solution. I even said to them, I'll keep the secret. I'll not tell anybody about the game, because what I want to do is essentially work for charity. You know? They followed me all over the world because they know that. And they've seen my history. They know that I've given a disproportionate number of pounds of my income to charity. Going back, I would give even more, you know, unwittingly. And so, to conclude, as I've said, all I wanted to do was crack on, and it just started again today, and I had to be absolutely certain. So I left the window open, and what you've seen is just over an hour of what's been happening all fucking day, and this is just 0.00001% of what they've been doing for 13 fucking years. These cunts, these cocksuckers, right? These poofters. No offence to homosexuals, but these are the scum of the earth who can't grasp the basic concept. I'm not a fucking poofter, right? I'm not a paedophile. I'm not interested in Freemasonic bullshit. I'm not interested in their imaginary fucking animal god Lucifer. They're as thick as shit, yeah? And they're just using high technology to bullshit themselves that they're something they're not, yeah? They're just fucking scumbags, you know? So they can't grasp even the most basic of concepts. No matter how compassionate you are, no matter how much of a solution you want to be to them being the fucking problem, they move the goalposts and just kick off again. And they move the goalposts, kick off again. Move the goalposts, kick off again. Move the goalposts, kick off again. I'm not going to film that lassie, but she's paid to be my next door neighbour. You couldn't make it up. And when I moved in, she told me, it's okay. When she moved in, it's okay. We know you're a good man. And we're very, very quiet. I still didn't register, really. What she meant was, late at night, if you want to play your music, do it. Because, you know, some of them actually like my music. You couldn't make this up. And some of them have told me they like me. Some have told me they even love me, right? Some of them have told me they love me for years. It's all bullshit. You know, they just want to sucker you into something and then take advantage of you. And ultimately, the ambition is for you to commit suicide. They're a suicide cult. Inside a suicide cult, being murdered by a suicide cult. That's how stupid they are. So here's another wee fuckhole coming down the street. I don't know. My eyesight's not very good. So it's better than it was before. Did I tell you they hit me with a directed energy weapon, which was fun? Because I told them about karma. One of their relatives died. And I said, well, that evil is self-destruction amongst others. They hit me with a directed energy weapon. You know, I don't know if that guy's anything to do with it. So anyway, obviously a street, people can drive up and walk up and down. I don't give a fuck. Which is why it took so long for me to work it out. It's a fucking road. Anybody's entitled to drive up and down it. So I left the windows open. I even sat at a weird angle. So that at the weird angle, I'd be more likely to try and have some kind of reaction. And then I just started speaking about it and even actually making a joke about it in my living room. And then, you know, all hell broke loose, you know. Because in Cuckooville, basically, in Cuckooville, I think I make them angry if I tell the truth about them, you know. But they're all in it, you know, and they lie. You've heard me say it how many times? They lie I'm a bad person because I'm supposed to psychically know that members of their family are in wheelchairs, members of their families have got all sorts of fucking problems, physically, psychologically, mentally, you name it, diseases, inbred stuff, you know. And I'm meant to know all this, right? I've never met them. I forgot all about them. I genuinely forgot they even exist. And they made a point of trying to wake me up so they could try and finish the job, you know. So, and here's the stage we're at. And I genuinely thought I'd finally reached the solution. I said to them, look, I'll keep your dirty, evil game a secret, you fucking scumbags. I put it more eloquently than that. I said, I just want to crack on making baby's formula called Pure Love. But I know how to make it, right? And the profit from that eventually would go to, ironically, the country they kicked me out of. Well, I left of my own volition to get rid of them, you know, and to get back to giving to charity from here in Scotland, which is a prison island, you know. And so Britain is just a police state, and they run the police state. And so it's just a joke, you know. They're sick fucks, and I've tried to be compassionate, understanding, selfless, da-da-da-da. They just move the goalposts and start all over again. They're the same ambition. They were murderers from the beginning. I could name them. I know several of their names. I'm not going to though. Because unlike them, I've no interest, really. I just want to crack on, you know. I just want to crack on and do what I want to do with my life. They just need to get to fuck and leave me the fuck alone, you know. I've done fuck all wrong to them, ever. And they know it. They're just full of shit, you know. They want to section me, imprison me. They've imprisoned me twice. They've sectioned me twice. You couldn't make this fucking garbage up. And I'm on court record 13 years ago blowing the whistle on the whore they sent into my life. And I didn't want to get her into any trouble because she actually helped me. And I've even told those dumb fucks that they've helped me because I had to study poinerology. It's no coincidence my name's in the middle of poinerology. I'm Erol. This might be my last will and testament. Do you know, see, this is my last will and testament. Give every penny I've got to Ethiopia, you know, especially some part of Addis Ababa, right? And so take it from there. And I've been told that if I do get bumped off, which is very easy for them to do, there'll be a lot of Freemasons who visit my grave and realise that by comparison, they're fucking cowards.